Record that. All right, we're live.
Yo, yo, yo. You there?
Yeah. Yeah. Just welcome to the UnCommon show. I'm your host, Kennardthedj. And lady over here we got with us is Ebony.
What's good?
All right. Hey, again. Tonight we're gonna talk about police brutality. That's a nice topic. We're gonna get it in like this. Okay. All right. Good evening, Ebony.
Good evening.
All right, good evening. How everything with you?
I'm good. I'm chilling in the car right now, but we're gonna make this show happen either way.
Yeah, we a little short tonight, but like I said, we still got a strong tooth, so we still have a good show, and we run a little late, but we're gonna get everything squared away. So tonight, what I wanted to talk about was police brutality. You know, that seemed to be a hot topic going on in the country today. It's riling a lot of people up, pretty much of all nationalities and all genders and everything else. What's your take on police brutality and the effects on the Black community?
I mean, I think we already see the effects. I mentioned in the show last week that the number 5 cause of death of Black males is police, by police, death by police.
Mm-hmm.
So that should kind of let you know, that it's a pretty heavy topic. It's a pretty important topic, and it's honestly not an uncommon thing. We have to teach our sons and stuff now, and our daughters, what to do, what to say, how to react, how to move if you should ever get pulled over by the police, where, other kids have the freedom of not having to be told or have to act a certain way, around them. They're there to protect them.
And they don't protect us. Is that what you're implying?
You know what? I'm not going to say they don't protect us.
Okay.
But I don't think protecting us is their priority.
So okay, you just made me. You said like basically like we have to teach the kids like how to act, how to talk, and this and that around the police. But it's my belief that that's pretty much what we have to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be a certain etiquette just with people in general, not so much as just the police. You know what I mean?
You're right. I believe everybody should have manners. You know what I mean? Everybody should know how to talk to other people.
Right.
However, other people don't have to be as polite as we do. They don't have to watch their, they don't have to watch their body language as much as other races do.
Mm-hmm.
We basically have to walk a tightrope, whereas other races have the whole sidewalk. You get what I'm saying? They can be sure-footed, where we, if we make one wrong move, that's our ass.
Well, let me ask you this: How do you think, like I say, the interactions between the police and Black people got as bad or perceivably as bad as it is today?
Well, my true answer is because the police was never founded to protect us anyway. I mean, let's look at the history of police. They started off as the slave patrol. So that system that's a foundation. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about people saying that Black people can be police officers. I don't care about, because my thing is it has to be a few of us on them.
Why is that? Or why do you think?
I mean, you can hide racism better when it's, oh, well, look at all the Black cops, look at all the Black chiefs, look at this and look at that.
So that's basically saying a black cop could be racist against their own people?
Absolutely. But I mean, no, not all, because not all white cops are racist against black people.
Right,
I mean,
right,
we got to be honest here. I'm not even going to say that every cop intends to be a bad cop, but
right.
I question people who join the police force because, yeah, you say you want to help people, but then there's going to be times where it's either keep my job or look the other way. And I don't, and I mean, that's from the highest ranked all the way down to the people who, the the bike police. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think,
So
I'm sorry, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I'm
you can
listening.
go,
No, I'm listening.
you go ahead.
No,
I'm
I'm
cool.
listening to you. Go, no. Okay, well, this is what I think. This is what I think.
I forgot what I was going to say. So
Oh, my bad, my bad. So I
it's
should have cut
cool.
you.
That's what I was saying. Go ahead.
This is what I think is like, I think with police officers is just, on the surface, on the outside looking in, it's a job, and it's a job, whereas, their lives might be at stake too. I'm not making excuses on either end, but, the way I look at it, I made mention of this before, they watch the same news. Like I say, I know actually quite a few police officers. Can I say that they're racist? No, I can't say that. Um, but can I say that I personally believe that they want to survive too? Then yeah, I'm willing to believe that, yeah, okay, they want to be able to come home to their families as well.
I
You see
tell
what
you
I'm saying?
what. I tell you what. I mean, just kind of say, not to segue really briefly. I know you saw, or have you watched the news about the female police officer that got shot and killed?
I'm looking at it right now.
How do you feel about that?
Mm.
I know it's off topic. I wanted to
No,
bring that up.
no, it's actually on in a way because we're still talking about the police. But when I look at it, to me, that's fucked up. I think that's fucked up. That's foul.
Absolutely.
This shit should have never happened. But see, this is what, I have a bit of empathy for them because they work every day just like I do. So that's where my empathy comes in at police officers. With any cop, I don't care what color they are. I have empathy for that because they know they work every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? But then you up against people who ain't got shit else better to do but to go out in the street and do dumb shit, carrying guns, they shooting, they doing all this crazy shit. And you shouldn't have to lose your life because you got some young, ignorant motherfuckers out here that's just out here just wilding out. Instead of working a job or being a productive citizen or going to school, these motherfuckers just in the streets. That's what they got to deal with every day. See what I'm saying? Not just them, but everybody else. This is what we up against. We go into work. You see what I'm saying? We go into work every day. We mind our business. We pay our taxes. We do this and that and the third. And we got to worry about these same motherfuckers that just so happen to be shooting and bam, bullet come through your window. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Them ain't the police that's sitting up doing drive-by shootings and selling dope and all this other bullshit. That to me is the big problem. That's the issue we don't never want to talk about. I mean, granted, yeah, I see some shit with cops that's fucked up, and I'm definitely against excessive force, but at the same time, you know, they deserve to be able to go home to their families too. And if you have motherfuckers who gave a fuck out here, who wasn't out here just doing all type of crazy, reckless shit, then that would make their jobs as hard as it is. See what I'm saying? It's like they damn if they do, they damn if they don't. If they,
You're right.
you know what I'm saying?
You're
It's catch-22 with this shit.
It is a catch-22 because what I was going to say is every black child, whether they got a criminal history or whatever, they still deserve to go home to their families because even if they are at the bottom of society, somebody loves them.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree
So,
wholeheartedly.
you
But
know,
but
I
we
mean, a lot
talking
of the times it's like it's a seesaw. It's an imbalance there. It's like it's a teeter totter because they shoot because they want to go home, and the black kids might act up or be belligerent or resist the rest because they want to go home.
but we talking about this is the way I look at it. We talking about you said manners. Everybody, I forget your word. Well, I think you said
Everybody,
should
everybody should have manners.
should have manners, but you only gonna know what you were taught. and you're gonna do what you were taught. You see what I'm saying? And when you're out on the street, you're gonna make your own decisions. That's everybody. But a lot of these motherfuckers, they ain't got no manners, they ain't got no regard, they don't give a fuck about shit. They sit up there, these motherfuckers are sitting up. One dude, it was a couple weeks ago, he sit up there, roll up on an unmarked car, start shooting at the car, talking about he thought there was ops. I'm like, what the fuck? And it was police officers. What kind of shit is this? Now that's inexcusable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is what you up against. Now, this is the type of shit. And the thing is, with the cops to me got it easier than black folks do in this aspect. The cops just work there. Black folks live there. So while you may or may not get shot, these motherfuckers are doing this type of shit every day in the same neighborhoods. Motherfuckers can't go out and play. You know what I'm saying? They can't do nothing. It ain't cops killing them. It's these niggas out here. That's the issue. To me.
When you think about it, and this is how I feel because I'm in the midst of all of this. I mean, like I say, I'm in North Lawndale.
Right.
You know, so I mean, all day, every day.
Right. So I'm not making that up. So you can verify.
As a resident, as somebody who lives in this neighborhood, I almost feel like I'm not gonna say a hostage situation because I mean, if I could go somewhere else, I can't afford to, but I probably can go somewhere else. Right. But you know, it's almost like a terrorist thing. They're terrorists.
Right. Now we talk. This is what I'm saying. You're exactly right. Exactly right. And so I think you haven't made mention of it. Some shit along the lines of mass shootings. I think you made a post about that. And that kind of coincides with what you just said, because that's what that is. You hear motherfuckers over 4th of July weekend, 44 people got shot. That's a fucking mass shooting. That's terrorism. It'd be the same same two sides of town, 10-1, the same color people. Every time. So the people that's out there that's working in those neighborhoods, and not just cops, but you know, the people at the beauty supply, and not even just them, the people that work there, because that's it, they can work there and go home. But the people that live there, it's right. So this is why I say what I say. Is because to me, the last thing I want to do is get on a police officer's bad side in any which way, because that's who I need to call if I need some fucking help. I can't call these niggas. See what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about me. They don't give a fuck because I get up and work every day and mind my business. They don't care. If they want to come get your shit, they're going to come take it. And now what you going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. I'm not worried about no police officer carjacking me. They got their shit. They got a house. They got cars. They got all day. I'm not worried about police doing it. So I'm saying, so this is why I don't buy into the narrative of, police brutality exists. Going back to the subject, police brutality does exist. And there were some cases where it was unwarranted, you know, and I totally disagree with that. I think it's, you know, you should be more tactful. However, I don't know what a motherfucker thinking. So in my mind, you know, I don't know them from Eve. I'm not going to do or say nothing to provoke a motherfucker with a gun, let alone a gun and a badge, but definitely with a gun. You know what I'm saying? Whether I was wrong or he was wrong, I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna provoke this motherfucker. I'm not trying to be no fucking news story. Because while I'm dead and gone, or shot and can't walk, or some shit like that, they might go to jail. They might get administrative leave, maybe. No, that's not a winning situation. I think it's best to just play it cool, but that's just me. I can't speak for everybody else, but it's white motherfuckers that got shot by cops and killed by cops, Latino motherfuckers. I'm pretty sure motherfuckers of every color. But what seems to be the ones that's being pushed out on the media is the ones when it happened to black folks. They know what make us mad. They know what's gonna piss us off. So they'll keep putting it out there and putting it out there so you can get pissed off, go out in the street and do something stupid and get your ass locked up. That's what I think. Which in turn will put more money in their pockets because the more of us that's in jail, the more taxpayers have to pay to facilitate them so they can get 3 hots in the cot, which in turn is still coming back to the working person. See what I'm saying? That's just my thoughts on it as a whole. But go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No. I'm
Because I mean, there are situations where aside from what you were saying, and I mean, I agree with you, you know,
yeah.
but I also want to point out, because we were talking about manners and stuff. There have been situations where, people have done exactly to the letter what they're told, and they still get shot.
Yeah, I've seen that. I have seen that. And that's a problem. That is a problem. I was thinking about what's that kid, what's the name?
Orlando Castile.
Him. That shit should have never happened. Straight
Why
up.
do you think that happened?
You got a motherfucker there that's you have some of these police officers, they're still people. I'm not making an excuse for them. But for whatever reason, them motherfuckers are so edgy or whatever the case is that they let the shit get too far. That situation should never happen.
You know what I think it is?
What's that?
I think, honestly, is people who are scared of Black people with guns. People who hate Black people with guns. People who have been taught that we are so aggressive. And yes, there are times we are aggressive. I can't deny that, and I can't argue against that. But we are so much a threat that we can't do and move like anybody else. Because I mean, you have seen, and I know you have seen, because and if you haven't, you can YouTube it. It's videos of white people doing the craziest shit to police.
Mm.
And living to tell the tale. Sometimes not even getting arrested or caught.
I'm listening.
So you can't tell me that that's a problem.
I'm
And
not
it's
saying
a big problem. No, I mean, what you're saying is you're not buying into it, right?
right. That's correct.
But you not buying into it is ignoring what has been pointed out as facts, undeniable facts. Even the people who are in who basically built the systems have to admit that.
So basically, it's because white people do it, we can do it too. That's what you're saying, because that's what it seemed like. Take it the wrong way. So basically, because like a white person will pop off at the cops, we should be able to do the same shit.
They will not.
But I'm saying, is that what you're saying? Is that what the way it should be?
What I'm saying is everybody should be able to do the same thing and live to tell about it.
My next comment was going to be white people shouldn't be the marker for Black people. We not them, they not us. I ain't concerned about what they do. I'm concerned about what I do. Now, for whatever reason, if they let that motherfucker slide, then that's between them and them. I ain't got shit to do with that. That's fucked up. It's not fair, but I have no control over that shit. I got control over what I do. Now, that's just like a motherfucker go up in there or go up in a candy store or some shit, and here's some white kid that stole some candy. I see them. Okay, they took some candy out of here. Ain't nobody say shit. Then I go and do it, and my head I want to jump on me and say, "Oh, you a thief, you a thief." But if the fact is, you know it's wrong, no matter who's doing it. So it's your choice. If you feel like, oh, I should have that same entitlement that they have.
So why is our wrong worse than their wrong?
I don't think it's worse at all. I'm saying a wrong is a wrong.
According to prosecution and a lot of the people in jail, it is.
No,
We get more time for the same crimes that they do. And everybody knew better in those situations. Or if they didn't, whether they did or they didn't, they know right from wrong.
And I'm not trying to be combative or nothing, but I think if we just, that's all the more reason why we got to keep our head on the swivel anyway. And we should want to do that. If we know that the system is out here and we have it in our heads that they're trying to catch us up and lock us up and all of this, then why do we, well, it's not we, not all of us, but some of us continually do shit that's gonna get us locked up, or
What?
continually
I
do.
mean, okay, you act like there's no white criminals out there. You
I'm
know what
not
I'm
saying
saying?
there's not. What I'm saying is, we know the answer to that. There's criminals in every color, every gender, whatever. I'm saying I'm not concerned with their shit. I'm concerned with us. That's my priority. So I'm saying when I'm speaking like this, I'm speaking about my people and to my people. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like more of an issue with us. So to me, like, to me, it's just wasting time to be worried about what over there. That's their shit. If them motherfuckers can sit up and pop off and all this, good for you. I don't get one day you might run across a motherfucker that ain't having it. Maybe. I don't know and don't care.
But shouldn't you have a right to do that though? Whether it's right or wrong, whether it's bad manners, what have you,
No,
shouldn't you have a right one day you having a badass day and god damn it, here come this damn police. What the hell you want?
okay.
No, I'm not showing you my license. Let my arm go.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
You
It
can't.
happens. It happens to other races. And I don't care. I mean, I'm not saying I don't care. I care. I understand what you're saying about worry about yourself and you worried about your people. But my thing is, you ignoring a major fact
I'm
that
not ignoring it. I know it exists. I'm with you. I know it exists. I'm saying that I have no control over that shit. Only thing I got control over is what I do. That's all I got a control over. I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker just robbed a bank. If a white boy just came and robbed the bank right in front of me and left a bag of fucking hundreds right at my feet. If I pick that up and the cops come, I'm asked the fuck out. Bottom line. Whether it was, oh, well, you didn't see him do that, it don't matter. The fact is, what you did was still wrong. It's wrong on either end of the stick. Now, whether everybody gets caught up for it, it's like it's motherfuckers right now. It's motherfuckers out here right now. They did, okay, good example. Going back to the shit you was talking about with the officer that just got killed, right? They caught them motherfuckers fast. And it was probably because she was a cop. Motherfuckers did everything they had to do to get them the fuck off the streets. But it's motherfuckers right now that then killed numerous black people that's still out on the streets. They didn't get caught. They did not get caught. You see what I'm saying? So then now, okay, well, Joe Blow see that, oh, I'm gonna go shoot some motherfuckers too, and they do get caught. It's just the way it goes. It's not fair. It's fucked up, but that's the way it happens. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. My thing is just, this shit always been this way. It's my theory that it's always been this way. The playing field always been uneven, but that's not an excuse not to be able to live your life without having to worry about the police, especially. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you fuck up, you fuck up. You know that there's a possibility that something could happen and the police could be involved. That's just the rules. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it just says in my mind, for me individually, try not to fuck up. I ain't saying I'm perfect, but just try not to fuck up to the point that you leave in cuffs or have to keep interacting with these cops. If that, because I don't personally feel like that about police. I don't feel like that. And even with my history with the cops, like I said, I had cops draw guns on me. I still to this day don't feel that way. I just don't. And I've seen situations where I seen motherfuckers that got all hot-headed and all this and that and talking shit to the cops and shit turned out wrong. You picked the wrong one. Now, you can say what you want to say, but you have no control over how they react to it. You can do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But when them motherfuckers, they shoot, they probably not gonna leave you alive to tell the story. So I would just, that's how I would do it. I don't know. I would just keep it cool. They front on you or some shit. Go get your fucking lawyer. Let them handle it. That's what white people do. They go get a fucking lawyer. Shit. You worrying about that shit? Other motherfuckers, they gonna keep doing that shit because they know they can piss niggas off. Fuck that shit. Go get your lawyer. They out there. They looking to eat up these type of cases with the cops. It's all over TV. They want a piece of that money. Go get your lawyer. Let them talk for you. Don't tell them shit. Answer their fucking questions. Follow protocol. If they did some shit out of pocket, get your lawyer. That's what I
That's
say.
if you live.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say follow orders first. That's the first thing.
Okay, but what I mean, don't you? I mean, I can't. I really. It's okay. There is proof that even doing that, there is a problem.
Have you seen more cases where motherfuckers was belligerent or motherfuckers followed protocol? Which one was more? Black people in these last couple of years.
Hold on, because the volume went down real low. So I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
I say, have you seen more cases where there was black folks that were belligerent or black folks that follow orders?
Black folks that are actually following orders.
You've seen more cases of black folks that's I'm talking about this.
Or weren't even aware that they were having guns pointed at them. I mean, if you in your grandmother's backyard with a cell phone, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I heard about some shit like that.
Or you in a park playing.
Oh, that's just like, no, go, I'm sorry.
I mean, this is not police brutality, but I mean, it still ties into it that, I mean, you can't even go get, what was it, Arizona and Skittles.
Yeah.
So are you saying that if Trayvon Martin would have just complied with Zimmerman, he'd still be alive? And that's right.
You know what?
Right.
No, that case right there was some other shit. I think it was more to that story than people that the media put out. I think the motherfuckers was fighting. That's what I think it was. Clearly, he was bigger than this dude. They was fighting. And then the motherfucker had a strap, and that's what that was. You see what I'm saying? Now, you see that another thing that be giving people that you got to watch for is motherfuckers will bait you into shit. You see what I'm saying? People will do and say shit, or I seen it on both sides. I seen white people do it. I seen black people do it. All that. It will bait somebody into shit, so they have an excuse to do some shit to you. That's another thing you gotta watch for. That's the age we live in.
Hold on, I'm sorry, so sorry. I told you I was in the car. I'm letting the windows up.
Yeah, no problem. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. It's real low, so.
Oh shit! Damn, I hope I'm.
No, you know what? I think it's me. I'm gonna try to put my headset on.
Okay.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Oh, we still rolling. We still rolling. Can you hear me?
I hear you, but it's real low, and I don't want to keep saying what, huh? You know.
Let me see if I can.
No, it's my phone. So.
Okay, because I tried this mic already.
There you go. There you go. You're good and loud.
Okay, well, I don't know what I did.
No, I'm telling you, it was my phone. For some reason, I think Zoom works better on my phone with earpieces.
Okay, well, fair enough. But like I was saying, like what I noticed like today is like a lot of people are like big people in this shit. Like they'll try to, like I seen white people do it, black people do it. They'll try to bait somebody in to get a reaction out of them, to get it on tape, to go live with it, or to get, you know what I'm saying? So I can do something to you. And I think that was a case of that. I think that's exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And see, that's what I'm saying is that we gotta,
and people like that make it bad for people who are actually getting beat down by the police or shot by the police and stuff like that.
I agree there.
You know what I'm saying? Because those are few and far between.
Right.
But, us being targeted or us being the victims or victimized, that is,
that's very prevalent. That's what I'm saying. It's a common occurrence. It's an epidemic. And
Um,
it's always been that way. It's just now we are more willing to talk about it. I've seen signs from the 50s and the 60s, police stopped killing us.
mm.
Do you think they were making it up too?
No, no,
Not
no.
saying that,
Oh,
not saying that, our elders can't lie and, be some ancient people, but I'm just saying, I mean, at some point, if enough people saying the same thing, is probably some truth to it.
some truth. Some truth.
Sometimes the particulars be a little sketchy. I'll give you that. But in any case, even with the particulars being sketchy, they should be able to walk away just like anybody else.
Oh, I agree. I agree. But like I said, I said my standpoint as far as something that I'm not willing to do. That's just not who I am. I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker right or wrong. I'm not a confrontational person. I'm not the type of person to sit up and try to do shit or give a reason for a motherfucker to shoot me at all. Now, if it's my time, it's my time. I ain't got no say on that. But if it's up to me, no, then I'm not gonna do anything to provoke them. But like I said, going back into the race baiting thing, or I guess that's what you would call it, like race baiting. That's another thing where shit get out of fucking hand. And that's something that I don't know why a lot more of us aren't aware that there's people out here who will do that. To get you
Okay.
arrested or to get you uh 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 anything. You know what I'm saying? Whatever type of shit, just get you on payback and the food.
I
It's
agree.
motherfuckers here. You know what I'm saying? So we have to
I'll
be,
even go as far as say it might have been some situations that maybe if they wouldn't have done some things, they'd still be there. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Or the situation wouldn't have escalated the way it did.
Exactly.
But also, you need to be trained on how to de-escalate a situation as well.
You don't think they
You
are?
can't. No, no. For one,
So
they not trained long enough to be conditioned into de-escalating a situation.
what do you think is a sufficient amount of time?
A lot longer than what they do. I mean, you got to go to school 4 years to be, pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
You go to police academy for what, 6 months, 8 months, or a year? I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have to look that up.
So my thing is how can you learn how to deal with humans? Like honestly, how can you learn how other than what you are accustomed to? You know what I'm saying? In that short amount of time.
I hear
For me to sit here and counsel somebody, I got to go to school for damn near 6 years.
you.
You know what I'm saying? Just to tell somebody, well, why do you think this is, basically get them to answer questions about themselves,
Right.
which is not a hard thing. You know what I'm saying? But you go to school for 6 months and you're supposed to know how to deal with not only somebody who is stressed, anxious, maybe hurt,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not mentally ill. You know what I'm saying? And be able to assess the situation fully before you make a decision. No, they don't go to school long enough.
And that may be the case too, because I remember Larry, Larry Lightfoot came out, and I think she was saying something along the lines of some type of police reform they're supposed to be having, or some type of retraining they're going to be doing, and this and that. I don't think that. I mean, I think that'll help in some cases, but I don't think that's the entirety of the problem. You know, because to me, it's just the police just work there. See what I'm saying? And I don't think it's an epidemic. I just don't. I think that the media puts it out like it's an epidemic. And the way they put it out, it's like you can just go on any block in any black neighborhood and see cops killing niggas. That shit don't fucking happen. That shit do not happen. But what you will see is these niggas out here doing what they do. That happens. So if we want to go into epidemic bag, to me, black genocide, that's an epidemic. You know, that to me is what needs to be that should be brought to the forefront.
Okay, so I got a few facts for you. You know what I mean? These are numbers.
Okay.
Numbers, I mean, numbers can be manipulated, but I mean these are I mean I'll look for a few different sources just to make sure.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, this is from 2017 to 2021 by race. The numbers of Black people killed, or the numbers of people killed by race, by the police.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2017, 457 whites. Now, also let's remember that they outnumber us. We're 12% of the population, right? So
Okay.
you have to look at those numbers too. If we are a smaller, number, therefore, I'm just gonna read the numbers. Bottom line.
But
So I'm not even gonna go through all of them. Let me see. I'm trying to get my phone so I can see. Okay, dang it. It cuts out. Okay, 2020. In 2020, 457 white people were killed by the cops.
mm-hmm.
241 Black people were killed.
Okay.
Keep in mind we're 12% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll even throw in Hispanic. In 2020, 169 Hispanics were killed. They make up about what, 13, 14% of the population too.
Okay.
28 others. An unknown race, 126. Right?
Okay.
So they not killing more. Okay, as far as the numbers are, it looked like they not killing us. But my thing is when you add numbers to numbers as far as the population, there's still a big amount of Black people getting killed by police.
But the white people's number's not big. I mean, yeah,
Actually, no, it's not.
Compared because they got a bigger population.
Right.
But 400 people is 400 people.
Okay. And then a smaller number, okay, let's do it this way. Let's just say you got a 12-ounce cup of pop.
Okay.
I got a 16-ounce cup of bottle of pop. If you take half of my pop and it's 16 ounces, don't I still got more than when they take half of yours?
Yeah, that's true.
But it's still a lot to you because that's your pop, right? You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I get what you're saying. And I'm not thinking anything. It shouldn't be happening. But an interesting thing to look up, and I wish I had the numbers in front of me. I'm gonna try to pull them up. Was how many Black people? Now this number here, was this countrywide, or was this just?
Yes, this was countrywide. This was across the nation.
This is across the whole nation.
Right, which we are smaller in that, because when you think about it, Black people are what majorly in the major cities: Chicago, New York, Dallas, Houston, LA, places like that. So think about this big country, this big ass country, where it's places that Black people don't even live, or it's like the percentage is so low it's undetectable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we in designated spots. So that means that, like Montana, it might be 4 Black people that live in Montana. I'm exaggerating the number. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is I'm saying that to say there are places where they cover everything where we in little small spots. So yes, we are smaller. So that number is a big hit for us because it's less of us.
I understand.
So I'm saying that's a problem.
It's very much a problem. It's very much a problem. I ain't gonna never take nothing away from it. Yes, it is. It needs to be addressed. That stands a better chance of being addressed than Black genocide does. Because at least then you have a finger that, the cops are under a microscope, period. See what I'm saying? So, they can't turn left or right without motherfuckers looking at them. So, that can be over time could be corrected some kind of way. You know, at least that's my belief, or at least they're gonna put pressure on them or whatever the fuck they gotta do because it's all over the media. See what I'm saying? Every time a cop fuck up, it's out there. It's for people to see. Now, this is an article I just typed up. Now, with that stat that you had, how long, what is the range of time in that stat? Those
A
stats.
year.
This is in a year's time. Okay, now I'm gonna read you this article here. And I just looked this up. And it was written by Michael W. Chaplin. It was a blog. This is CNS News. I just Googled it. But this is an interesting thing here. It says, according to the Chicago Tribune, which maintains an extensive database on homicide and death by gunfire, at least 585 Blacks were killed in the last 365 days in the Windy City. 585 in the last year. And still counting. That's something to be alarmed about. Now, that still coincides with what you said as far as, you know, yeah, we may not have the big numbers, but we're talking about in the last year, this is how many people have been killed by Black people.
And that's a problem. That's a major problem.
But, problem.
And I hate to say, but that's a big problem. But I mean, my thing is it still does not take away from the fact that I mean, you know, right now, I think we should worry about that. I mean, I think that's a major priority. I think that's a big priority and it should be handled immediately. But we got so much coming from us from just so many different angles. We don't know what it's like. It's like we have to pick a camp. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, where's all this when the Black people kill Black people, but then it's a whole camp saying stop killing Black people. It's like, you know, the shit don't make sense. I want to be in both camps as much as possible, but for this argument, because that's a whole different situation, and the reasons behind that is completely different than it's not different actually. That's a whole different bag of worms right there, is what I'm saying. Here.
No, go ahead.
What I'm saying is since this is the conversation that we having, because I got a lot to say about that too. I don't like comparing them.
Why not?
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, we kill each other because guess what? We're around each other. That's called proximity crime. Black on Black crime, that's the worst saying because that's controlling the narrative. Because in the Asian neighborhood, Asians kill each other. In the Hispanic neighborhood, trust me, I know because I'm right across the street, that's the same thing. It's called proximity crime because you're going to kill who you're by.
But at these high numbers?
Yeah.
580.
I mean, no, that's not normal. That's not normal.
That's what I'm saying. But see, here's the difference to me. Here's the way I look at it. And I hear what you're saying as far as the narrative goes, but to me, that's just what it is. But we actually have control over that shit. We don't have control over what anybody else.
I think to a certain degree we do.
We do.
But I'm gonna ask you something. Do you know a Black gun shop?
A Black gun shop?
Right.
No.
I mean, yeah, they getting these guns illegally, but what I'm saying is they ain't all stolen. They ain't all illegal. They're illegal guns. But what I'm saying is they getting those guns from somewhere.
We know the motherfucker. Okay, put like this. Ain't no secret. At least that's the word, the rumor that the government or whoever the fuck is dropping the guns off and niggas is going to pick them up and all this other shit.
It was just actually, I don't know if you watched the news a few months ago. They found this thing where the military were selling the guns. Like, what is it? The servicemen were selling the guns.
To who?
Two that they caught. Because trust me, these ain't the first people that's been thought of that shit. You know what I'm saying? These ain't the first people that's been thought, oh, let's sell guns to these niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is the shit was going to come out anyway. So what they do is they're going to sacrifice one or two to save the bigger, to save the, you know, the bigger purpose.
Right, and we know that. We right.
Know that. We
It-
know that. But let me ask you something. One more question, and I'm sorry to keep cutting
no,
you
no,
off.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
If you think they dropped the case of guns off in a white neighborhood, that it ain't gonna be more shootings,
Well,
that's a Because then then if you say no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna
no,
think that.
no, I get where you're going, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can say it's a conspiracy because I never even thought that far. Because I mean, listen, I don't even think they'll do no shit like that over there. But if they did, then yeah, I think it probably would be more shooting. You know, same with a Latino or Oriental neighborhood or whatever. I think there would probably be because they have more access to the shit. And it'll probably be cheaper because motherfuckers gonna be selling it on the street. So it'll be easier to get. But I mean, you know, you could throw the conspiracy word in there and say, okay, well, yeah, motherfuckers are setting the guns out there and this and that. But niggas ain't gotta go and pick them up. They ain't gotta go in
If
and
you condition to, yeah, you will, and yeah, you do.
who does the conditioning?
Who does the
Who
conditioning?
does the conditioning?
How far back do you want to go?
You take whatever you want to take it. I'm just curious as to who.
Who? The same
Who?
people who put the same people who put the motherfucking crack in the neighborhoods, if you want to be honest.
But who's perpetuating it?
We're perpetuated because we're conditioned. And we still getting more and more stuff put in, you know, given to us. I'm telling you, it goes so far back that, I mean, damn. Let's start with let's start with them kicking the daddies out the house. Then on top of that, all the factories and stuff started closing up. They started closing trade schools left and right.
Uh-huh.
So that's lack of advancement right there, lack of possibility to advance. Because I don't care what you say, we ain't all made. It ain't all. It's not made for more of us to make it out.
I
Now,
agree.
let's add crack into this.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, you go. Maybe this is the first or second generation of a black woman raising a black boy who been showed his whole life that he's pretty much not necessary, or you know, he don't know the principles and fundamentals of being a man because there's no man around him. The men that are around him on drugs or selling drugs, or just some deadbeat ass niggas.
Okay.
Right. So there's a generation of that already. Now we got the crack. We got the shit drying up, the resources drying up. Let's not mention food deserts, which I mentioned before. You're not getting even the nutrition so you can cognitively develop, right?
Right.
Then let's add in rap music. Now, in the beginning, rap was cool because it was telling stories or saying some uplifting stuff or something that's relatable until the negative, like at this point, crime is out of hand because why? We don't own shit, so we real territorial of what we got because all right now it's about money and respect. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now we what in the early to mid 90s? Because think about it, when we was growing up in the 90s, it wasn't sweet either. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say a lot of more shit happened. We just didn't have social media.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is it's bred in us to be this. Not all of us, not all of us. But
That's.
I mean, this is what I'm saying with the conditioning.
But do you agree that, or do you believe that any conditioning can be undone?
Yeah,
Because
but
I
where would you start? Where would you start?
start with yourself. You
How
start with.
can you start with yourself? Do you understand you conditioned from a baby? You understand that when I'm saying condition?
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that every last one of us has the freedom of choice. No matter where you're at, as long as you're above ground, you have the freedom of choice. Okay, they can sit up there. We can go back to the whole shit, like going from the top. You said about them kicking the dads out the house. Everybody did not do that. There were some women who chose not to do that. And they did that. They did that. Then you can go into the whole thing with the dropping the crack off. There were some dudes
So
said, wait,
right.
hold on. Some dudes who said, you know what? I ain't with all this street shit. I'm gonna go and find me a job. And they did just that. Or I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna do just that. Bottom line, going into the rap music. Rap music is easy. You know, it's because every black person in the world don't listen to rap. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Right. So that means that okay, if I don't like this brand of music, just like I don't listen to country and western, guess what? If the shit pop up on the radio, I'm turning that shit to the next station. That's it. It's that fucking easy. So, you know, okay, I get some people that, you know, may not be, I don't even consider it a strong mind. It's just the ability to choose. You do have,
Okay. But you also have to be aware of those choices.
and that's why I say everybody needs at least one good parent. At least one. Because to me, and I'm not a parent, but I do know what it's like to care about somebody else. You care about somebody else, you don't want to see them in harm's way. So you're going to give them information that can help them out in their lives. That being one of them. Okay, look, hey man, look, you ain't got to do this. You can go and do that. You know, it's jobs out here. You can go to school. You ever thought about college? You ever thought about this and that? You want to travel the world. You want to do this. Blah, blah, blah. And expose this person to other shit other than what's right in front of them, other than what's on the block in the neighborhood. It's a whole big world out there. You ain't just glued to this area. You can go wherever you want to go. If you got the resources to do it, shit, we got to believe in ourselves. We don't believe in nobody else. You know what I'm saying? You got to believe in you. And that shit should start, it should be embedded early because you have
All
to
right.
be taught that.
And you're right. And I think more people should think like that. I swear to God, I do. But see, you coming from a place where that was bred into you to think that way. Now, or you got the wherewithal to have that spark of thought. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree, but it's not just, and away from what you said, because I do agree with that. That is the case. However, you know, it's not just that. It's also an individual choice too. So it's not just so much as what you was taught, it's what it is that you held on to and what you
You're
want to do.
exactly. And not every individual has the capacity to think that way, especially when all they see is what they see. Remember, I think we said this the last time we talked that it's people who ain't even been downtown, man. Like that's real. It's people who have not been 6 blocks past a certain block, a certain street, either way, unless they was going to court or some shit like that.
They need to get
I
up.
know it sounds impossible. It sounds impossible, but when your world is shrunk to a small amount of space, you start getting a different mentality. Just, I mean, basically, let's say the projects for example.
Okay.
They call the projects because what they did was put rats in a small space and watch them start killing each other and fighting and shit like that. So they knew what was going to happen when they did it.
Right.
My dad tells me stories because he's from Rockwell. He tells me stories about how he went in there. The tennis courts was actually, you played tennis on them. You actually played basketball on the basketball courts. The laundry rooms worked. The elevators worked. It was like people cared for their families and stuff like that.
Right.
And my dad is not 100 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They knew exactly what was going to happen when they did it. So here you go in the projects, like, okay, 2450, that was the building my dad was from, right? Rockwell Gardens. But you couldn't go across Jackson. Want to know why? Same projects, not even a half a mile away from each other, we beefing. How many generations grew up in the projects?
Shit, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4.
So you admit that there was some conditioning in there somewhere, right?
I'm sure in that particular building, but I don't believe everybody in that building had that mentality.
No. And some people actually moved and got out. But what I'm saying is you start adapting and adjusting to your environment.
Like we have no say at all on how we live.
If
No say. It's our life. We in the
you
drive.
have a say, you always have a say, but you also have to be aware and cognizant of that choice or that say.
Okay, so that's basically like, I just don't think it's that difficult. It's like saying, okay, you went to work today, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did somebody force you to go to work? Did somebody say, get up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying, I'm going that. That was a conscious decision that you made for whatever reason. It was no different than me. I had to work today. Got up in the morning. I could have said, man, I ain't going. Didn't say that. I said, man, I'm going to work. I got up. I went to work. I came home. End the fucking story. It's that. But it's just.
It's that simple, right?
Right. To me,
I laid there, and I was like, damn, I should call off. Right?
Have that option, yeah.
Then, yeah, I do have that option to call off. But then the responsibility that has been bred into me kicks in. Ain't nobody gonna pay these bills but you. Okay, but what a key word. It's people who didn't watch their grandmamas, great grandmamas, and mamas lay up and do nothing.
So you gotta be the same. You gotta do the same shit they doing.
If it's working for them, because you ain't seen nothing past where you live. You see, TV is TV. In their minds, that's not attainable.
So that means
how many people, and I'm just gonna be honest, how many people growing up was just like, man, you know, the Cosby Show is cool and all, but we can't be no doctors, we can't be no lawyers. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so far-fetched, because that's not what we see.
That's all the more reason to get exposure. And that's the job of the adult, the parent, the grandmother, the grandfather, whoever's around. That is the job of the adult in the house, for those children to get exposure to see something other than what's in front of them. Because there's a whole lot more going on. 20 miles in each direction, 10 miles in each direction. There's a whole lot more going on. You may be in the projects. You may be in some neighborhood that you really don't want to be in. Okay, well, that's the adult's journey. That don't have to be your journey. You in the driver's seat, you have a choice as to what you want to do. You decide, but you also need to know that you got to put the work in for it. See, a lot of these kids today, they so spoiled rotten, they don't want to work for shit. They don't know nothing about losing. They don't know nothing about getting up and earning shit. That's why they're so fucking wild.
There are also kids who have been bred to not know shit about winning.
And that's bad.
That's bad, but it's okay. And okay, in our generation, everything got flipped. You see what I'm saying? They flipped our whole narrative.
But why do we continue to perpetuate it?
Because not all
don't
of us
believe in
know,
ourselves.
Not all of us are aware that it's a fucking trap. Not all of us are aware it's a trap. Just like you, where did you learn your ethics from as a child?
As a child, from my parents.
Exactly. So what if this child don't know nothing but watching mama sit up and do shit all day, but talk and start bullshit, and the daddy in and out hustling, selling drugs? But mama get a food stamp card every month. You see what I'm saying? I got Section 8, or we living with grandma or great grandma or whatever. Life is easy. I get what I want here and there.
They're gonna lose.
So you're going to learn to not expect nothing more than what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? This is bred into us. And even if it's not, maybe your family wasn't like that, but maybe if the kid down the street ain't got the same upbringing as you. And what you're going to do to fit in is you're going to try to fit in or match the people that are around you. So if everybody around in the neighborhood majorly is in the situation that the little boy is with the mama that lay up all goddamn day, that's what he's going to do. That's what she's going to do, the daughters. I told you I spoke to a young girl and I asked her. She was 16 years old. I'm like, what you want to do in the next couple of years? The girl said she wanted to have a baby and get Section 8. And I said, and that's it? Oh, well, I know. And these were her words. I know in 5 years they're going to stop giving me cash. So I might try to learn how to do hair or something like that.
I don't think the daddy would have ever stood for that, but that's a side note. If the daddy was there. That's just my.
But sometimes the daddy be there, but the daddy don't be on shit because, hey, maybe he was a stand-up dude, but life beat his ass down. So now he ain't doing shit, and the kids watching daddy not doing shit. And guess what? That could be in any race, to be honest with you.
What about that?
But it's also set up that it's more common where we are. And guess what? Not only that, it's depicted on TV. Other races in other countries, like Andre said, this is what they shown on TV about us. That's why when they get here, they have the audacity to treat us like shit.
Well, we can't control what happened on the fucking TV. We got control over what happened in our lives. The TV is the TV.
Okay, we can't control it, but why? Why would they? I mean, why are we depicted in such a negative light when you're not like that? I'm not like that.
True.
So why can't they show people like you work, you have a government job. Why can't they show that, hey, we work, we go to school?
Mm-hmm.
Why would they choose to show that, Lil Ray Ray got a gun, Lil Ray Ray shot up this, rapping about bitches and shit like that, the women shaking their asses and loud and just pure fuckery is what they choose to show about us.
Right. Well, I'll tell you why. It's because, for one, that type of shit is gonna sell. There's a business of making money. They're not gonna show positive black folks on TV too tough. Is because we don't own shit. If it was us,
exactly, we don't own shit.
We don't own nothing.
And because we don't own shit, we don't control shit.
Exactly.
Not even the way you think sometimes.
Shit, if anything, you should be able to control that. That's your brain, your mind, your thoughts.
But if your mind been trained since forever, and grandma and mama too, to be this way, what do you know? What are you going to do? What are you going to imitate? I swear to God, I just had to do a paper on Bandura. Bandura was a physiologist, psychologist that basically his theory was kids learn by observing and imitating. It's a test he did called the Bobo doll. Now, this test was, he got 3 sets of kids. One set of kids, he didn't do anything to, because that's the control. Then there's a set of kids that he played people play real nice with him with the toys and stuff. Then there's another group of kids where first they watch one of the researchers beat up this doll, punch it, kick it, throw it in the air, yell at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they left the kids alone and told them, okay, you go play. The kids who didn't do anything, the control, they pretty much was just doing whatever they was going to do. The kids who played nicely, the adults played nicely with them, they played nicely.
Mm-hmm.
They put puzzles together and stuff like that. But the kids who watched them beat the shit out of that doll, they got up and started beating the shit out of each other. And the doll.
It's learned behavior.
Exactly. So if you in a neighborhood, regardless of choices, regardless of your individual choice, you're going to do and imitate what you see.
Well, we talking those are kids.
These are kids. Toys. Look at a kindergartner. Look at 5-year-olds right now. In a regular Black neighborhood, look at 5-year-olds right now. Those are children. The ones that had them, they slightly older than children, give or take. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these kids are doing what they see. Period. I mean, I keep saying the same thing over and over again. I'm sorry if I am, but I'm just trying to prove, that's pretty much, this is what it is.
That's the problem.
It's conditioning. Now, what I'm saying, I say it's all part of a design. Now, these neighborhoods in here, like you are absolutely right. Everybody got a choice. Everybody can get up in the morning and say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm
Right.
sick of this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then let's just say they get that idea. They go outside with their friends and they like, man, I'm really sick of this. I don't want to do this. Oh man, you lame, you this, you that. You ain't got nobody else but these people. So what you gonna do? You're gonna dumb yourself down and shut the fuck up and hang out with them because guess what? Them your people.
Oh, you're gonna slide off and do your own thing.
Not
Sure.
everybody got the mental strength to do that. Not everybody knows they options. And I'm not defending nobody because
Right.
I think it's a damn shame because in my mind, because I have the mental capacity to say, I want to do this, I want to go better, I want to go higher, I want to have what I want. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody thinks the same way. You
Not
can
even
have a family, like we in our 40s.
right.
How many people you know got one brother that did good as hell, successful, but same household, same family, the other brother in jail or dead or done some dumb shit or on drugs.
Exactly. That illustrates my point.
It
That's
also
my
illustrates
point.
you exactly right. What I'm saying is sometimes some people can escape that shit. Some people can't. Some
So
people have the spark, like I said, they have drive. Some people have drive. Some people can break away from this fucking matrix and say, okay, this shit ain't cool, this shit ain't right. Let me open my mind to see. Or let me research, let me look into something. You see what I'm saying? Let me think deeper. Not everybody is trained or conditioned. And I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of these kids just, I mean, ain't no telling what the mamas was doing when they was pregnant with them. Some of these kids ain't, okay, trauma. Trauma changes the way you think. And if you're a child and you have been constantly exposed to trauma, a lot of kids don't even know that it's trauma because they normalize it. But in the process of normalizing it, it changes how you think.
right.
A lot of these kids are like high stress. So you're gonna make decisions that are not rational. A lot of the stress and a lot of the damage and stuff, even the kids not eating right, it affects that prefrontal cortex. I'm sorry, I'm going into my school shit. Please forgive me.
No,
But
that's
what
fine.
it's a science behind it. You know what I'm saying? It fucks up the way these kids think, decision making, logical thoughts. You see what you understand?
Mhm.
Add that to, being exposed to a lot of different shit that maybe they shouldn't be.
So I mean, with you're talking about rational thought. It's just it's my it's to my knowing the logic and everything is going to come from the man. So to me, it seemed like that if the man were in the house, he would at least get that balance instead of getting one side, the more emotional side. You know what I mean? So to me, that would kind of remedy that if there were a man there, and he ain't got to be perfect, just be the man, just being a man doing what a man does.
Also, you're right. And also, if the woman is mature enough, if the woman, knows what she's supposed to do as a mother, it's
Right.
more to being a mother than just feeding, changing, clothing a baby. I mean,
Right.
a lot of people don't get that. Actually, your kids should be learning outside of the school. I don't trust the school systems because they're not teaching the kids what I feel they need to know. You're teaching the kids standardized shit that they can't probably relate to anyway because it's not what they live and it's not what they see. I digress on that.
Fair enough.
But what I'm saying is these kids are not being, you know, the mamas don't know how to be mothers. Mothers are the first teachers of the children. So whatever it is that they absorbing from their mother is set in stone.
Right.
Sometimes. because you have to unlearn shit. I had to unlearn a lot of shit. Not saying my mother was a bad mother. My mother is one of the best mothers I know. But I mean, and not knowing what they were doing was traumatic or affecting me. I had to unlearn some things. But what I'm saying is, I say that to say, not all mothers know what they're doing. Not all mothers know the responsibility that they have. So they do things that maybe they shouldn't in front of their kids.
Right.
And sometimes that's not always a ghetto situation. We all know families that got money and that's fucked up.
Well, it's not right. It's not even, I don't think it's an issue of, I think half of it is not knowing what to do, but the other half is just caring. That love there. Everybody, if somebody just said this shit and it made perfect sense. Like if a kid is quick to just, venture off from home and all this and that, and do all this. A lot of those kids are out there looking for what they think love is because they're not getting it at home. So
Exactly.
So that's why I think it's just, if you just had that one parent there who loved their child, I mean, really loved their child, that's going to have
now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that a bad parent don't love their child. I'm not saying that that people don't love their children, because I mean, we see the love. It's just it's misdirected stuff, or just being in a bad environment. You see what I'm saying? Because it's white people that's fucked up.
Of course.
These kids go shoot up the schools and shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. No, I don't know. It happens. It happens. But these niggas shooting every other day. Mass shootings.
What else they
Motherfuckers
got to
is
do?
getting shot.
I mean, what
That's
else?
what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying when you say that they have a choice. And yes, some of them know it's wrong, but some of them don't know that they have options to not do this shit. I'm not defending it because I want to go and blow some of their little asses away too. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? But I understand. I hate to say the word, the psychology of it. I do. I look at it every day. I've seen good kids turn bad. I've seen bad kids turn good.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's about choices, but it's about being aware of your options, not your perceived options. Remember, I also talked about learned helplessness as well.
Right.
And a lot of this shit is learned helplessness.
Yeah, because then the whole thing to me with the disadvantage of that shit is like, if you feel helpless, then you always got your hand out. You're always looking for somebody to do for you and help you instead of standing on your own too. It's one thing when you come across everybody getting a tight situation and they need a little bit of assistance to push them over. But some of these kids now, like you said, the one kid you just mentioned, they have it like set in their minds before they even got out and trying that they already want to take give me all the help you can give me I want the link in the Section 8. They ain't even tried shit. They ain't even tried to go to.
They've been raised up on trap music. Trap music tell you nigga, you ain't never supposed to be about nothing. You go see some shit, you want some shit, you go take it. Or you sell enough drugs that you living lavish. You see what I'm saying? So these kids then came up on at least, a good 20, 30 years of this shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, I can even get into the vibrations. Music, everything is vibrations and everything is frequency.
Right.
The highest vibration is love. Now, we grew up from the 70s. All our music was about love, or I done lost my love and I'm hurting because I lost my love because it's wrong for me to be without this person. That type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
To fuck that bitch. A bitch, fuck, you give a fuck about a nigga, stuff like that. So where our music was either, relating to some pain you felt or inspiring you it's okay to love somebody. Now it's wrong to care about a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Ass backwards.
Ass backwards. The script got flipped. Now, That's low vibrational music bred into our children. Low vibrational foods bred into our children.
Mm-hmm.
Piss poor education bred into our children, because in Chicago, educational funding per district or whatever is based on property tax. Most of these niggas in here, they, the property taxes, it ain't doing nothing.
Well, God,
Whereas you go to Winnetka or Hoffman Estates, and the kids, they got tablets, they got new books. You know what I'm saying? They getting quality education, they get quality lunch because they schools fund healthier lunch programs. I'm telling you.
I think it's misappropriation of the tax money because Chicago taxes is high as shit.
Yeah,
That's what
but
I think.
how many of the kids in these neighborhoods' parents actually paying for that shit?
You right about that? See, that's what getting the fucking job comes in at. See, if you had more working families that were paying taxes, then that would help out on that end of the stick. But if it's a thing where the kids is being taught to hustle and not work, you see what I'm saying? It's like I always hear my dad, man, ain't gonna be no Social Security by the time you come around to your side and shit like that. And then like the older I got, I started thinking, damn, it probably ain't. Because the ones behind me don't want to fucking work. Meanwhile, we getting up, my generation is getting up every morning, punching the clock, so the ones that were before us could get their checks. But the ones under us, we ain't gonna have shit. Cause they ain't doing shit. They hustling, they doing all this under the table shit. They kitchen beauticians and all this bullshit. They not doing nothing, they're not paying no taxes. So what the fuck do we have to look for? Somebody saw this coming, so a lot of companies is offering like
These kids ain't being educated on the level to think higher. Our kids are educated well enough to work for somebody else. We breed our children to work for other people. How many times did you hear, even in school, go to college, get a job? You're not taught make your own money, be your own entrepreneur. You taught to work for other people, whereas in other areas, these kids are being taught how to be entrepreneurs. These kids are, taught different things on how to make money for themselves and build generational wealth if they haven't come from generational wealth already.
I get that, but you know what? I'm not mad at the end of the day because there's nothing wrong with working. I'm saying, but it's also a great thing to be an entrepreneur and have your own business and make your own money and you your own boss. That's great. It would be great if there were people that taught that to their children. And I'm pretty sure there are some somewhere that does that. But like I say, I know what was in my house. I know that's where everybody in my house, they was all working and okay, you need to get a job. All right, I wanted a fucking job. Shit, I stopped working now. Shit. So I see them, they working, they getting pies and they got money and all this. I want that shit too. So what I do, I go get me a job. I give me a little piece of cotton. I have me a little couple of dollars. That shit go a long way. See what I'm saying? So it ain't like it's I don't see it as a bad thing to get up and work because you're gonna have to survive one way or the other. If you ain't, then you might end up being one of these motherfuckers out here robbing and stealing because you don't want to work for it. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna need to survive. So what they gonna do if they work?
We pretty much kind of explained that though, why that is, because the script has been flipped to where we don't have no expectations. The real ones do. Whereas there was a point in time where everybody could get out and go do it. You see, you know what I mean?
Everybody fucking hiring. Everywhere that we go, everywhere I've been, you look, they hiring. If it was ever a time to get out there and get a job, now is the time to do it. But guess what? Motherfuckers ain't coming to work. Don't want to work. Instead, it's so much more easier. That's a problem with these fucking kids. They want everything easy because their whole life, everything's been given to them. That's the mentality they grew up with. They don't want to have to punch a clock and all this to earn their keep. So what do? The mom or dad or whoever stops giving to them, boom, they out in the streets. Next thing you know, you got what? That was a couple weeks ago, some 10-year-old got caught in a fucking carjacking. A 10-year-old. Matter of fact, I think it was a girl. What kind of shit is this? They're out here fucking carjacking because these motherfuckers got too much.
Then again, I'm gonna point back to social media, TV, music. What the fuck you look like? And I mean, I'm not saying you per se, but
Right.
what the fuck I look like going to work at McDonald's, making $7, $8 an hour, when my idol walking around with $10,000 in each pocket?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. McDonald's, and at least especially now, on the subject of that, they paying $15 an hour. $15 an hour. Shit. You better go and take
Well,
the money.
15. How long is it gonna take for me to get $10,000 to put in each of my pockets, working $15 an hour?
Get you some discipline. Matter of fact, you can make that shit. It might take you close to a year. Well, no, depending on your hours, it might take you shit. I don't know, maybe 6, 7 months. If you
My idol with a spot down the street can do that in 2 days.
Okay.
My idol on TV or the idol that I listen to do one show and he get 3 times that.
But everybody
You see
ain't
what I'm saying? These kids is being exposed to some unrealistic shit.
But we
They
was
don't know it's
too.
unrealistic. They don't know it's unrealistic because guess what? That person came from a neighborhood just like them where ain't nobody doing shit. But I bet if I rap, I bet if I did this, I bet if I made a name for myself. Most of these kids don't even think that they can live. I mean, they're gonna live past a certain age.
And that's sad. That is truly sad. That's why they live so fast. But you, okay, your idol got this. We had that too. Bigman was out. Big and Pacman and you know, shit, Mike Tyson, all these other people had all this money. But that's where the adult comes in to separate for you the difference between bullshit and reality. Reality is what you see the adults do. But then again, if you see the adults not doing nothing, then you really fucked up. Because the kids suffer for that. If they can look and they can see, well, you know, dad, he don't do nothing. He be here every day. He just sit around and blah, blah, blah. Then of course, yeah, they're gonna mimic that. That's why, you know, I think before motherfuckers start having kids, they need to really start like assessing what they do and who they are.
Do you know that you are not mentally mature until you're 25 years old?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Your brain is not fully developed, or the part that makes decisions is not fully developed until you're 25, approximately.
Okay.
So saying that, how you gonna, I mean, and then, I mean, again, let's put the environment, let's put hormones, let's even put mental problems in there that's not treated, because guess what? Black folks don't do shit like that.
No, we don't do therapy.
We don't do therapy. We don't do mental health. We don't do shit.
You're right.
So my thing is you got somebody who ain't old enough, mature enough to make sound decisions, and you expecting them to, I mean, and that's why I don't argue. That's why I don't really fuss at my kids and shit so much, because I know they ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, my daughter be 26, but they ain't there yet. And let me tell you, since she turned 25, her whole train of thought is different. Not saying that it was bad before, but now she's a little bit more focused in things. But my point is you expecting, with all these fucked up conditions, somebody to make logical decisions based on what you have already discovered, or you've been exposed to something different than what they have.
Yeah, because I mean, okay, like I say, it ain't all bad people in the hood. It ain't all bad. It ain't all good people in the burbs. You see what I'm saying? Motherfucker be in the burbs, have everything given to them, be a motherfucking tax murderer. Motherfucker go to jail, this and that, come out, be a lawyer. So I'm saying, I'm still gonna bring it back to the same thing. And you know, it all starts within you. It all starts, this is your life. This is you. You make the calls. You know what I'm saying? If I, like, going back to the work thing, if I say, man, fuck shit, I quit. Guess what? I got to deal with what comes with quit. That's just what it is. I mean, I know that off the top like anybody else. If I say, man, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm just gonna be a DJ. Stupid to the motherfucker. You stand to lose everything behind that. Behind a hustle. No, that's just not, no. Hell, I wouldn't have did that. I didn't do that at 18. Hell, I used to be doing all the rapping shit at 18, 15, 16. Shit, I didn't miss, well, here and there I would miss work sometimes because you were a kid, you didn't give a fuck staying home. But ultimately, shit, I didn't miss work for no damn show. No, I was at work. Shit, I needed the money to go to the show. And shit, you needed the money to pay to do the show.
Because you were taught that I earn my own shit. You were taught that. Or you saw something that was an example that appealed to you.
Yeah.
Something that appealed to some sensibilities in you that says, okay, I don't want to go out here and steal.
For what? When you can go buy this shit. And look, motherfucker, look, who the fuck you got to be a different type of person. You got to really be on survival mode to do this type of shit that these fucking kids are doing. This shit here. Because it was motherfuckers selling dope in 8th grade. When I first moved to the West Side, motherfuckers was shooting dice and selling dope in 8th grade.
And what has that person been exposed to?
Who the fuck knows? All I know is they live in the same area.
Ain't nobody gonna wake up one day and say, out of the blue, hey, I'm gonna sell me some fucking crack today.
Okay, so I'll put it this way. If they on the West Side and I'm on the West Side, we exposed to the same shit. We ain't talking about, you know, I was in a bird somewhere and saw it. We talking about, this was a couple of blocks away. The school was, Douglas was all of 10 minutes walking distance from where I lived at. So that's all the same area. That's the West Side. That's motherfucking Austin area. So each and every one of us was exposed to the same shit. We all knew what was out here. Just some of us at that age chose not to partake in that shit. That's just the bottom line. It was like, okay, everybody didn't have the best parents. Didn't nobody pick their parents, or pick where they lived, or what they had, or didn't have growing up. Nobody picked that shit. But this is what you got. Okay, like I said, I'm coming from the North Side. You know, we moved over there, I was like 12, something like that. I had to do 8th grade in Douglas. This is a culture shock to me. I ain't never seen no shit like this before. On the North Side, it was bang things up there too. But I ain't never seen motherfuckers shooting dice and fucking pulling out wads of money and all this in 8th grade. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I didn't think it was appealing at all. I'm like, what kind of shit is this? And you go to Austin, they doing it even more than that. You're like, what the fuck? So what did I do? Did I say, okay, well, everybody in the hood's doing it, so I'm gonna do it too? Fuck no. No. I picked out motherfuckers just like me, or who had a common ground with me, and that's who the fuck I ran with.
Okay, but like you said, you grew up on the North Side first, so you were exposed to something different and was transplanted into that situation. So you already had a little bit more exposure to something different at an earlier age than these kids probably will ever have in their whole lives.
That's not my fault. I had no say on where I grew up.
No, it's not your fault, and it's not their fault that they haven't.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? My thing is you just proved the point. You were exposed to something completely different.
But again, like I said, it was gangbangers up. You know, you still had the same elements on the North Side that you get on the. I didn't see the money shit up north. I didn't see the drug dealing shit up north. But there was gangbangers. So 10 to 1, they were selling dope and shit up there too. You know, but it was the same flavor. You know, shit, motherfucker, it was the exact same thing. So it really didn't, because the North Side made different in some aspect as far as diversity, but the same bullshit exists. You go in the suburbs, if you're looking for a motherfucker that sell crack or weed, they out here. Best believe. Matter of fact, I play softball
You
with
want to know
motherfuckers.
why? You want to know why? And I mean, on a certain level, because it's allowed out here and it ain't allowed out there.
Okay, that may be the case. I'm saying if that's what you want to do, you want to partake in, it's out there for you no matter where you go. You see what I'm saying? They may allow it here. Clearly they allow it in the fucking city. This shit been happening. This shit is rampant. Everywhere you
Yeah,
go,
it's
you
rampant.
can't go to. But that's what well, at least that's my opinion on it. Because you can't go to a fucking store.
So you know what? You know what? Because I gotta kind of you know, I gotta go to bed soon. So
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, it's
you know what I'm
11:30.
saying? So I mean, I'll put it like this. What you saying is not wrong. I totally agree with what you're saying.
I agree with you as well.
But let me also tell you this. My dad was raised in the projects. He was raised in a time when the projects weren't so negative. So he didn't have a negative lookout. My
Right.
dad went to the Navy. My dad bought a house in Austin in 76.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on a block where for a short time, because I was born in 76, for a short time, it was multicultural. I was exposed to a few different things because my father was able to expose me to a few different things. My parents were able to expose me to a few different things.
Right.
Shortly after, then the neighborhood started turning to shit. You see what I'm saying? So me and you kind of got similar backgrounds.
Right.
As far as that the neighborhood our neighborhoods changed at a certain point in our life. Now let me ask you something else. How old were you when you moved from the north side to the west side?
I was 12.
All right. So you know the ages 1 through 5 is like developmentally the most important years of a child's life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay.
So, that means that it's like when the brain is still soft, things are being imprinted on it.
Okay.
Right?
Fair enough.
So, you know what I'm saying? You came where you were at a point where you were already making some decisions for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of had a different outlook because you were starting to think that way and see the results of thinking that way.
But in every kid in every other situation, it's just like if a mom, okay, mom say don't eat no cookies after 9 o'clock, something like that. You go eat some cookies, you get a whooping, or you get yelled at or some shit like that. Bottom line, that's it. That's how it goes. Okay, it should be a set in place at that young age that you decide. See, and it's the parents' job to set those guidelines there. So I'm saying it's just like, if you came in, everybody knows this one. If you came in after the street lights came on, just getting your ass whooped. So
Yeah,
you knew
that's
you
why,
right.
because your parents set boundaries for you. You see what I'm saying? Hell, what about the kids who mom and daddy didn't give a fuck what time they came in, or don't know what time they came in because either A, they working, or B, they out their damn selves.
That's the problem. Because then, and there's always been kids like that, even when I was coming through. Kids just like
And
that.
I mean, I'll even go so far as say some of these knucklehead kids ain't really knucklehead kids. They parents just work situations where they not able to have a bigger control or bigger say over what they do.
So it still comes down to the individual. Because let's just say that those parents were teaching those kids, were setting guidelines for those kids. But once you're out of that house, those decisions are on you. It's not, Ma said to do this. No, it's your decision. It's just like, okay, you get up, you get ready for school, blah, 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 you get back home. Perceivably, you're going to school. You have those kids that cut class, didn't go to school, hanging out, doing all type of other shit. Once you leave those doors, you decide. I was never one for cutting. Well, matter of fact, I cut class one time in over 12 years of school. Grade school, all the way up. I cut class one time, once. So I'm saying that wasn't my thing. I like to be in school. Eventually I grew to like to be in school. So I put my backpack on, I load my books up and all this other shit, and I walked to school. I did my classes and I walked back home. I might stop off at the candy store. If I had a couple of pennies, I'd go get some candy, like the rest of the fucking kids. And then I come back home, and that was it. You do your homework, or you play video.
Let me ask you this: did you just decide one day at 3, 4, and 5 that this is what you was gonna do, or was that taught to you?
I was taught. Of course, it was taught then, but you
Okay.
knew.
It was taught to you by parents who pretty much either by experience knew that if you don't do this, this is the consequences, or that it's the right thing to do, right?
Right.
So what about the kids who ain't taught that? How do they know that that shit is wrong?
That's the
How do
problem.
they know? And that's what I'm saying. You're proving my point by saying that's the problem, because if you don't know, or you don't see a way around doing something that's not right, what are you going to do?
Well, I think them kids need to. Clearly, something is fucked up if you land yourself in jail, or clearly, it's something that's fucked up if goddamn it, you got hurt in the process of doing it. Clearly, that's something should nobody have to tell you. You should know that. Going to jail is a bad thing. That's shit people know. You see what I'm saying? So I have a hard time believing a lot of these street kids don't know that what they doing, a lot of what they do could land them in jail. They gotta fucking know that. Why the hell would you be out in the streets if you didn't know the consequences of the game?
Because if you taught that the streets is as appealing, and that lifestyle is exciting, you're gonna do what you taught. You're gonna do what you exposed to.
Okay. But do know that there's consequences to every game you play.
Okay, but guess what? Guess what? The consequences don't seem so bad when your idol is doing it. How many times these little niggas have been went to jail and stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The juvie and all that shit.
So you get credit when you go to jail, or you shooting somebody or something like that.
That's why they gotta get the fuck away from it. Because that type of shit is ass backwards to even look up to that type of stupid shit.
And I mean, here's proof right here. Can you say Jew too many times in music?
Hell no.
But you can say nigga and bitch all day long.
Because niggas don't stand up and say nothing about it. We applaud.
Okay, a few of us do.
That's why. And we know who run the fucking music.
Exactly.
Right.
But my thing is they do it with a purpose, and the purpose is to perpetuate the shit that they want us to do, because they control the narrative.
But if we wasn't so hard up to be a part of their system, then it wouldn't even matter. Because we can go build our own.
At this point, they don't even know that that's part of their system. They don't know that this is part of their system, because why? They're not telling us that it is.
But we also live in the age of they ain't gonna tell you all what you want. They're gonna tell you what they want you to know. We know that part. But we do live in the age of information. It ain't like before where we had to go to the library and look shit up. You can look shit up and tip your fingers. Everybody got a cell phone. Anything you want to learn, you fucking learn it if you want to. That's insane.
We live in an age of information with children who are conditioned to not find out about
they're lazy.
No, it's not that they're lazy. We live in an age of information with children conditioned to not look up something of importance, but to look up what size shoe Cardi B wear. You know what I'm saying? That's the type. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got all this information. Okay. And I'm not, and this is like one of the only few Bible quotes you will ever hear me quote.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe this shit to my soul. Our people are dead for a lack of knowledge.
That's true.
Okay. All this knowledge, all this information floating around us, but we don't know it's available to us. We don't know the options. We don't know the we don't know that we can have the same shit that they do.
Better than what they do. Because we got to stop. I've said this before. I made a post about this. I said, how the hell are we, something along the lines of, we spend all our time trying to be equal to instead of being greater than. We spend too much time trying to be equal to white people. We need to just let that whole shit go. It's never gonna happen. It ain't happening this far. There ain't gonna be no
But I
equality.
mean, we in a sense, we live in a society. We
I get
gotta abide
that.
by their rules. You see what I'm saying?
I get that too. And you can still have your own shit. It's room for it to coexist. But
So I mean,
you know
what
as
happens
well as
when
I
we
know.
got our own shit? And I hate to keep going back and forth, but what happens when we get our own shit?
Well, see, now we got some say so. Now we got some say so. Once we get our own, I mean, it's more than just a notion. Of course, you got to get some solidarity first. We got to get off the petty shit first. You know, that's a number one.
That's pretty hard to do because I don't know if you watched The Shy. I don't know if you watched
Well,
The
I
Shy.
hate that fucking show. You know what?
Actually,
I do watch
I like that show, but
I
the
used to
mayor,
like it.
Duda
Yeah.
said some shit, and it hit me a certain way because him and Trig were having a conversation, and he was like, "Why can't you do this? And why can't this and all this stuff happen?" Duda told him, "Black people are not a monolith. We just like any other races where we got people that's going to agree, we got people that don't agree. What we fail to understand is us not being on the same wavelength with each other is detrimental."
Okay, so is that to say all white people on the same wavelength?
No, they're not a monolith. Hell, you think if that was the case, either all of them would want to help us or hurt us. Some want to help, some want to hurt.
So that means we can do some shit, just not doing it. That's what I gather.
We can't get on the page as what to tackle, what to address first.
I'll tell you what.
So everybody got all these solutions. They yelling at each other. Well, we need to do this. Y'all need to do this. We need to stop doing this. We need to stop doing that. It's so much shit. Like I said, we are fucked up on so many different levels and got shit coming from so many different angles. We don't know where the hits is coming from, the source of the hits. You see what I'm saying? Like, you ever been in one of them things where everybody's shooting all them balls at you?
Yeah.
So you trying to block, you trying to block as many as you can. That's us. And that's them shooting all this shit at us. We don't know what to attack first.
I'll tell you what to attack. At least I can give you a suggestion. It starts at the house. It starts at home. That's where
it starts in a home that knows it starts at home.
That's the adult's responsibility to know that.
Okay, what if the adults, not all adults are equipped with the same level of thinking. Even in successful families, even in success, you know what I'm saying?
That may be the case.
What I'm telling you is, you're right, it starts at home. What you see at home is what you're going to imitate.
True.
So, I mean, I can't get no simpler than that. And I mean, you're right, that is something to attack.
That's the first thing. You got to go internal.
Like I said, it starts with the mothers. The father needs to be there, but it starts with the mothers. So the mothers need to know what to teach their children. The mothers need to know what to expose their children to. Sitting your child in front of a tablet watching Zaboomer food. No, that ain't. What was that shit with the weird black guy? I ain't got little kids. I know you. Yo Gabba Gabba. Sitting your child in front of a tablet for 6 hours a day watching Yo Gabba Gabba is not educating your child. It's not teaching your child.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you really love that child, you will teach them. You will educate that child.
If you know what to teach you. I mean, a person who sits their child in front of a tablet, I'm not saying that they don't love their children. Okay. They just don't know what to teach their children. That's not from lack of love. That's from lack of knowing yourself. And that's perpetuated.
So it's an internal thing. So then before you even get into the home, it really needs to start with the self. Humbling ourselves to being able to be taught. Humbling ourselves to listen. You know, before we even speak, we should be good students first. See what I'm saying? We never get to the stage to where we too grown or too big or too proud to learn. Because we don't know it all.
No.
But if you know that you don't know it all, then from that right there, you can learn. You have to be willing to be taught.
Have you ever heard this? He who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool, shun him. He who knows not and he who knows and knows who he who knows not and knows that he knows not is a child, teach him.
I hadn't heard
And
that. That makes sense.
but you know what I'm saying? And then they say, he who knows not, and I forgot, he who knows, and something like that, that's a leader, follow them. I got to look it up. So what I'm saying is, if you don't know what you don't know, let's even go simply. You can't teach what you don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
So if you don't know that you're not doing something, okay, I'm trying to think of something. And I'm just using this as an example. If I knew that getting my children certain vaccines, when you know better, you do better. Bottom line. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right.
So if you don't know that you're not, if you don't know that this is wrong, if you don't know that this is the incorrect way, but it's what you've been taught, or it's what you've decided is the best way for you because this is, it worked for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to continue to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is you right. It starts at home. It starts individually, but you have to know that you have to be willing to learn individually too.
That takes being humble. That you gotta be humble to be taught. Some people, I'm grown, I want to do all this other bullshit. But like I said, when you a humble mind, you'll know that you can always do shit better than what you're doing now. You see what I'm saying? There's always room for improvement with a humble person. But now to me, it's just, I think a lot of our people are just too arrogant and too hard-headed and stubborn to listen to any type of advice. I have a hard time believing that, even the shittiest of people in the world don't have a good person somewhere that they can talk to.
But you act like it's not arrogant people in other races and stuff. I think we need a certain arrogance. No, let me explain. I think we need a certain arrogance for the fact that with that arrogance, it's gonna come higher expectations of yourself. If you think you can do something better than somebody else, what's wrong with that? I'm sorry if you hear my car beeping. I done pulled off.
I mean, I think down the road, but not just off the top, so arrogant that you won't listen to nobody trying to help you.
But it's not even the fact that I don't think that people aren't listening. They're just not listening to the right things or the right people.
You got a good point there. Yeah, good
like
point.
I said, like this, let's just take this situation with the baby, for instance. He gonna have somebody that's gonna follow him to the ends of the earth, no matter what he do or what he's saying, is gonna do the best they can to emulate him. So there's a lot of people out here saying stuff about HIV and stuff like that don't know shit about it, but guess what? The baby said it.
Right.
And that's a whole different subject for a whole different show.
yeah, we're gonna have to. It's good. We had good run today.
Yeah.
You got any final thoughts or what? Because we started with police brutality and then we kind of
started with police brutality and kind of went all the way the whole different direction.
We sure did.
But I mean, to go back to that, one problem with our neighborhoods is over policing.
Over policing is a problem?
Over policing, overworked police, not paid too good. I mean, I think they make okay. In a situation where you around people that you've been taught to distrust, you know what I'm saying? That's like a formula for something. That's a formula for some shit to go bad. You're gonna be quick to draw a gun on me either because of what you've seen in the neighborhood or because you just been, you have a certain fear of Black people. And if that's the case, you shouldn't work a job where you around people that you're afraid of, because you're gonna act, it's fight or flight all the time. And then you're not, again, back to the training. They're not trained long enough to deal with people that they don't know anything about. They're not trained to be in neighborhoods where, do I got lights on? They're not trained to basically they're not trained to deal with Black people.
Well, I think what what Black people need is over policing, because that would at least give some form of protection for us law-abiding citizens, because they're out there, and like you said, sounds like being in an area with terrorists where motherfuckers is just out here shooting and acting crazy and robbing and selling dope, all this other crazy shit. So yeah, I think that more police, a stronger police presence would be beneficial to those of us who just want to work and
How
mind
about
our
more
business.
police that look like us?
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
How about
I'm not
police who
opposed to that.
know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Who
mean,
know,
well,
who can
you know what? I
understand?
talked to my wife about this one a while ago, and she did suggest that. And what I was thinking was basically what we came up to is they would have to, because the test is supposedly biased, and they would have to basically like
You know what?
drop some of
She's
the.
right.
That's
That's
what she
right.
said. But this is what I'm
No,
saying. I'm
but
like,
let me
so
tell you, there's a guy who took the police exams a while ago. I think it was Washington, D.C. He took the police exam. He was a black guy and he failed it. And then he went, because guess what? The questions that they had on the test, he couldn't relate to because it was not something that he was exposed to.
okay.
You know what I'm
Did you?
saying? So yeah, the test is biased because it's basically built for white people.
But
It's
there
made
are
for white people.
black police officers there, so we can't say that in all truth.
Okay, but we don't know what those black police officers were exposed to before they took their test either.
But they're
Just like,
still
let's
black.
just say, look, okay, they still black, but guess what? What did I just say? Black people are not a monolith. We all different.
Right, so we can't sit up there and say the test is biased. Maybe it's just, I took Madison police test and Chicago Heights police test. I didn't pass either one of the motherfuckers. The test was hard. But not once did I say, oh, the test is biased. Just mean I didn't pass the motherfucker. That's just what it
What
is.
I'm saying is okay, so if it's too hard for you to pass who done had a little bit more exposure, not everybody in the hood is bad. You see what I'm saying?
I get that.
So some stuff they just don't know. Okay, the test is biased. This man won the lawsuit and they had to redo the whole damn test because the questions was not for, it wasn't a diverse enough test for everybody to understand the questions.
I didn't see that. When I took it, I was like, oh, I'm just going to take
Well,
a shot.
this was a long time ago.
Okay.
So it's changed since then.
Okay, well, fair enough. Maybe more black cops. Maybe. But, I mean, that has yet to be seen. They are working on that. They are trying to do some adjustments. I think I see something on the news about it. It was a retired cop out of LA was talking about it on WGN like maybe a month ago. And this was after we was talking about it. And I was like, I don't know. But then that may work.
I think it has to, I'm not saying defund the police, but I do think that there should be some type of like I said, more extensive training.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, because like I said, and even diversity training, because let's say Bobby, little Bobby come from the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
All he know is white people and being around white people. And what he know about black people is from TV. And what do he see on TV? The same shit these little knuckleheads out here see on TV, right? So everybody in the form they own, one glorify, one vilify it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This man is taught that the law is the law. He has the right, and he's out here with his preconceived notions about black people already with a gun in his hand. So he think I gotta shoot before I get shot.
Mm.
Or it's okay to kill them because they ain't shit from what I see on TV and maybe the shit I've seen in the neighborhoods that they live in already.
Well, you do that, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences. But I do believe there are some cops.
I fear for my life. That's all they gotta say. That's all the police officer gotta say. Then it's against the judges and the courts and stuff. And then because the law stipulates that there has to be some type of punishment, they get punished, but they don't get it punished to, the way Lil Ray Ray gonna get for shooting Lil John down the street.
And that's even if they catch Lil Ray Ray, because it's a whole lot of
if they wanted to catch, I mean, look, that's a whole different story right there. That's part of what you call my conspiracy theory right there. Because like I'm just not convinced that all of this shit is neighborhood, and I'm gonna leave that at that.
I hear you. I mean, I don't know. That will be something to talk about later on. But look. Okay, we're gonna wrap the show up because we've been going and go for another 10 hours, and everybody's gonna end up getting late for work the next day. So look, we're gonna do it again next Tuesday. Hopefully we get a couple more people up in here. I know everybody has stuff to do, and I still ain't heard back from some of the people, but I'm glad that you came out and
Thank you.
You're always welcome. It's always good to have you here. So I'm gonna close out.
All right.
Right here, and till next time. Peace.
All right.